I think we all are pleased with the progress that we made since the UK became our partners, especially through the effective implementation of our plan of actions, in which 149 out of 181 action lines have been implemented or ongoing, many of which have also contributed to the implementations of the ASEAN Work Plan on Education 2021-2025 as well. On education, we have 3 points. Of course, my colleague are also able to add to this. The first one is on promoting TVET. TVET has been a major focus in the plan of action as well. Many action lines have been addressing these important priorities. But I think there's also other possible areas that we can also look at. Of course, through the ASEAN UK supporting the advancement of girls' education programs, the UK provided a lot of support, for example, provision of scholarship for women in STEM. For example, the collaboration between EdTech Hub and CML, and also the participation of the UK experts in many platforms that are also talking about the TVET. And in the work plan, it is also addressing the need for promoting 21st century skills. And all of these are also in line with what we discussed this morning as well, especially when we're talking about the future trends that ASEAN is going. For example, when it comes to digital economies, specifically the digital economy agreement, framework agreement, green transitions, resilient supply chain, and some of the key areas that we are now exploring to ensure ASEAN economy will benefit from robust and durable growth. So, just a way forward when we are designing TVET, I think we should also take into account these future trends so that we can provide the kind of skills that our people can be equipped so that they can participate fully and effectively in realizing many of these key priorities. The UK is a leading and also innovative country in this area, so we are in a unique position to support ASEAN to make sure that they are future ready and future proof. The second one is to further promote the link between universities, especially in the area of research, in areas of common interest. I saw the benefits of the research collaboration between ASEAN and the UK firsthand. I remember during the early days of our fight against COVID-19, when we are still trying to understand the genomic sequence, the transmissibility, and how we are going to respond to the COVID-19 and so on, we benefited greatly from the involvement of the UK experts. At the time, for example, a prominent British professor from the London Schools of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, Professor Peter Beard, has also contributed a lot to the conversations and also played a major part to the establishment of the AFIN in terms of the academic contribution and research contribution and so on. So I think this is some things that we can do more together. I'm very happy that you also mentioned that in the previous interventions, the provision of £1 million for the research purposes, and I hope that we can do a lot more, especially when it comes to area of common interest, such as science, technologies, innovations, climate change, pandemic, and so on. Another related issue to this is the promotion of the link between our certification bodies. According to the data, as of July 2023, there are over 38,000 certification students in the UK and over 88,000 students pursuing British higher education qualification at institutions located in the region itself. So it clearly shows how popular the UK higher education institution in our region, how trusted it is, and actually I'm also a beneficiary of this as well as student employee. So I believe that such enhancement of the linkages between the certification body will also allow the university between two regions to further expand this program. I'm sure there can be a lot more students coming to study in the UK, or some sort of collaboration between the UK institutions and ASEAN institutions providing some sort of courses or degree in the region as well. My third point under this particular area is, first I want to thank the UK for providing 200 children's scholarship to Southeast Asian students a year, and also 63 scholarship for women in STEM postgraduate programs and fellowship, and also around 103 great scholarship postgraduate programs partly funded by the UK government. Many of these people are well equipped with the skills and knowledge that requires experience, and when they get back to the country, they contribute greatly to the social development in their country and play major parts now in the leadership positions as well. So it shows the merit that we contribute to further strengthen this particular area. So I hope that the UK will continue to look at this priority, further expand the numbers of scholarship to Southeast Asian students so that they can have a chance to learn and obtain skills in the UK. On people-to-people exchanges, we've done a lot together on the exchanges between media personnel, policymakers, students, not just students from Southeast Asia, the UK, but also British students going to study or research in the region as well. And this plays a very important role in promoting mutual understanding, mutual realizations of our differences and diversities and so on. So I hope that we can continue to expand this program by allowing more of these people to have a chance to come to the UK or British public going to the region to have deeper engagement with institutions and also people in our region. Second, young people play a very important role in connecting with our two regions. So I think based on the action plans and the plan of action, we've seen a lot of activities being done. For example, youth volunteer or dialogue, or some sort of changes, cultural changes and so on. And this has great potentials, and I believe that some of the ASEAN flagship initiative, for example, ASEAN Youth Dialogue or ASEAN Youth Volunteer, can be further expanded. I remember before I left the ASEAN period, we also did a lot with other partners, for example, Japan, by identifying a particular topic for our young people to engage in volunteer work. I remember at the time, they also focus on disaster management, but there's a lot more they can do together. It's not just that these young people have a chance to engage or to build network, but also to contribute to their own societies. And this can be done both in the ASEAN region, but also in the UK as well. My third point under the people-to-people exchange is the need to raise awareness about our relationship. You rightly pointed out that we made a lot of progress. For example, looking at the implementation of our work plan, a lot has been done. But the important thing is how we are going to make sure that people will know about this, appreciate this. And I think it's important that we come to reach out to different communities. And this is not just about the people between the two regions, but also our community in the UK as well. So everyone can play a part in raising awareness about the ASEAN identity, about the relationship that we have, and of course through various activities, for example, cultural exchanges, or sport events, or ASEAN Day, for example. And some of this are also useful in terms of how we can strengthen the foundation of our relationship. So the more our people appreciate the importance of the relationship, I'm sure this is some things that would allow us to further pursue even greater goals in the future. I will end my intervention here. My colleague can also add to this. Of course, the education secret bodies and other related secret bodies have been working very hard, and they've been contributing to the implementation of the work plan as well. So thank you, Joe, for this.
Thank you, Excellency. I open the floor for other colleagues if you may wish to add. If there's not, with your permission, Co-Chair, may I say a few words on this one? Education and people-to-people exchanges remain the core area of our cooperation. For Brunei Darussalam, the UK continues to be the top destination for our students. We appreciate the opportunities the UK has presented by offering additional places under the Chevening scholarships, and we hope that the UK will continue to offer more scholarships like this. Through ASEAN, we welcome the ongoing and the upcoming cooperation on education, culture and creative economy, and the notable progress under the flagship development program on promoting women and girls' education in ASEAN, with the recent launching of the ASEAN UK supporting the advancement of girls' education in science, technology, engineering and maths scholarship. We also welcome the proposed ASEAN Chevening Scholarship Program, which we heard will be launched in July this year. Thank you, Chair. May I give the floor to you for your response. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair, and many thanks to the representative of Cambodia for his important intervention. And I do think that this is a very fundamental area. If the economic cooperation we were just talking about is central, then I think this is sort of underpins everything else. That unless we can connect our societies, our education, and our young people, the rest of our cooperation risks being vacuumed. So I'm glad that we're paying particular attention to this area. And certainly the UK is determined to continue deepening our cooperation across the range of socio-cultural issues which confront us. And we're keen to find shared opportunities to build our societies together, to create those links which make our societies resilient and healthy while strengthening our people-to-people links. The very strong emphasis on education, which has been heard in both previous interventions, is very well taken, and I take it as a compliment to the UK's education system that there is a desire for it, and I do think it's world-leading. And I'm delighted that so many young Southeast Asian people wish to come to the UK to study, and we're delighted to welcome them. We use our scholarship programs to choose the very best of Southeast Asians to come here, but I'm delighted that everybody should be able to come. And to that end, we're very pleased that the collaboration has been building over time in a range of areas, including areas which have been mentioned, such as mutual recognition of qualifications and certification issues relating to that, teacher training and digital skills. Tibet, I think, is an interesting area where we can do more, and it came up during the ASEAN Secretary General's visit here when he talked to our UK education envoy, Steve Smith, to see what the possibilities were in that sector. So we'd be happy to explore more areas in that space. We're also keen to continue to pursue the direct links which some universities from the UK have in Southeast Asia. We were very pleased, for example, that Montfort University is establishing a campus in Cambodia, that Lancaster University, in collaboration with Deakin University, is setting up in Indonesia, and there are plans afoot elsewhere. So I think that those physical expressions of our desire to work together, as well as joint courses, shared qualifications and so on, can really strengthen those links. Colleagues have already mentioned some of the flagship work which we've been doing in this area, including the flagship ASEAN programme, which was announced by our Development Minister, Andrew Mitchell, last year. And that's, of course, the supporting the advancement of girls' education programme, the SAGE programme, which will contribute £30 million to the education to addressing the educational challenges faced by marginalised groups. And we're also committed, as I said earlier, to supporting that pipeline, the future pipeline of students from Southeast Asia coming to the UK. We have over 40,000 Southeast Asian students coming here. We would like that to be much more, and I think that would be a real contribution, not just to their education, but to the cultural and people-to-people links between our countries. And to that end, we are very committed to our scholarship programs, which were mentioned by both of the previous speakers, having launched, as was mentioned, the scholarships for women and girls in science and technology, and continuing our Achieving Scholarship program, both in individual ASEAN member states, but very excitingly, I think, launching an ASEAN Achieving program this year, which we very much look forward to. I think beyond education, the questions of how we build young people's links is an important one, as was mentioned by Cambodia. I think that the sorts of programs that were mentioned, I think would be very exciting if we can get them off the ground. We will certainly be prepared to play our part in finding ways of raising what I think is raising the profile of what is a genuinely exciting partnership. I think what we're doing together is fantastic. So let's find some ideas on how we can do that, particularly at high-profile moments such as the ASEAN ministerial meetings and the post-ministerial conference. If I may, Co-Chair, I'll mention two other points quickly which were less touched on. One is health, which was mentioned, but I think is an important part of our programme, our partnership in this area. And we've been very pleased to improve our cooperation in the health sphere with ASEAN, including conducting rapid assessments, helping to draft the ASEAN One Health Joint Plan of Action, and delivering events on chemical incidents. And looking ahead, we're very excited to be launching our final flagship programme, the ASEAN UK Health Security Partnership Programme this year. And once launched, this £25 million programme will support ASEAN's capacity for prevention, detection and response to health threats, and Representative Cambodia talked a little about some of those challenges which I think face our societies together. We know all too well from recent history, if we don't do those things, prevention, detection and response well, then our societies suffer. So we're keen to bring together the strengths of the UK's and ASEAN's public health institutions to address those, as well as using some of the science and technology collaboration which we've discussed to address these issues. And finally, let me touch briefly on the creative economy, which I think underpins a lot of what we've been talking about. The UK is, as well as being innovative, a very creative economy, and we are very much looking forward to launching, we hope this year, an ASEAN UK Advancing Creative Economy programme, the ACE programme, in collaboration with the British Council from the UK's end. And the goal of this programme is to support ASEAN policymakers to develop creative economy strategies and to promote the arts and other creative sectors across the region. And I think this programme and others like it will tap into what so far has been untapped potential for cultural exchanges between the UK and ASEAN. And that could include a whole range of additional things, from cooperation in the hospitality sector to the film sector to TV, where the UK has a lot of strengths. And I think, again, cultural cooperation of that kind has benefits beyond its immediate value because culture propagates itself throughout our societies in ways that are unexpected and generally very positive. So I think by investing in that area, we will be contributing to the shared desire to increase the profile of what we do together. Thank you, Co-Chair.
Thank you, Co-Chair. We are delighted to hear the number of initiatives lined under this social cultural cooperation. Now we move to agenda item 4.5 on cross-pillar cooperation, may I invite esteemed representative from Thailand to lead on agenda 4.5.1. Thank you.
Thank you, co-chairs. I would like to firstly thank Honorable Islam for the commendable coordination of the ASEAN-UK partnership for the past 3 years. I join others in thanking the co-chairs for their leadership in making the arrangements for this meeting. And particularly, I'd like to also express appreciation to Owen Jenkins and his team for the warm welcome and hospitality extended to us. Excellencies, colleagues, modern day challenges are increasingly cross-cutting in nature and require effective cross-pillar multi-stakeholder cooperation. And one such fundamental challenge is to ensure sustainability of our people's future. Along the same line with a number of reports on the SDGs, the report by the UN ESCAP based in Bangkok clearly shows that ASEAN is not on track to achieve any of the SDGs by 2030 and has even regressed in some areas. We therefore need all the support and strong commitment from our partners, including the UK, to make progress on the SDGs implementation. And sustainable development will continue to be ASEAN's strategic priority. The new ASEAN Community Vision has set out an ambitious goal of trying to achieve the green agenda or green ASEAN in the next 20 years. We therefore particularly appreciate the UK's inclusion of climate transition as one of the 5 flagship areas to support the implementation of the ASEAN-UK Plan of Action. And on this connection, allow me to highlight 3 key areas to further strengthen our sustainable development cooperation. First is on financing. Green finance plays a pivotal role in facilitating businesses' transition, particularly MSMEs, towards sustainable development. And by directing financial resources and incentivizing investment towards environmental friendly projects, we are promoting economic growth while mitigating environmental risk. And on this note, we welcome the UK's proposal on ASEAN-UK Green Transition Fund and look forward to hearing from the UK on the development of new financing tools that could better support our efforts on building green businesses and transition to green economy in our region. Secondly, is on science, technology, innovation, and capacity building. Climate challenges are threatening the security of the world's citizens, but particularly in Asia Pacific, which accounts for almost 60% of the global death toll from climate-related disasters. And it is imperative that ASEAN enhance our capacity in responding to disaster risk and in adapting to sustainable lifestyle. And one approach could be a transition to clean and renewable energy. ASEAN has set a target to increase the proportion of renewable energy to 23% of our total energy mix by 2025. And to support ASEAN's commitment, the sharing of knowledge and best practices by our partners is vital in enhancing capacities of ASEAN states. On this, we appreciate the UK's initiative on research and innovation for development in ASEAN and welcome cooperation under the ASEAN-UK Green Partnership to enhance regional capacity on priorities such as climate adaptation, disaster risk reduction, energy transition, and sustainable agriculture, among others. And thirdly is on collaboration. There remains enormous potential for further advancement of our partnership and sustainability. And Thailand, as the ASEAN coordinator for on sustainable development cooperation, stands ready to work with our ASEAN colleagues in the UK in exploring further project ideas on sustainable development, which can be undertaken to the ASEAN Center for Sustainable Development Studies Bangkok, based in Bangkok, and in collaboration with other relevant ASEAN centers, such as the ASEAN Center for Climate Change and the ASEAN Center for Energy. And not only will such cooperation contribute to the sustainability agenda in ASEAN, but also can serve as a win-win cooperation and support the implementation of the AOP. And lastly, I think we all look forward to working with the UK on these challenges and to advance the cross-sectoral and cross-border cooperation and to deliver a better future for our peoples. Thank you, Co-Chairs.
Thank you, Excellency. Before I give the floor to Laos, I open the floor to other ASEAN colleagues if you may want to add on this agenda. Seems none. May I now invite Excellency Thongpan to lead on agenda item 4.5.2. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Co-Chair. Colleagues, I will first lead the discussion and then Myanmar will make additional intervention on the agenda item, sub-agenda item. On connectivity, as the landlocked nation in Southeast Asia, the Lao PDR attaches great importance to deepening regional connectivity, which also aligns with our ASEAN Chairmanship theme, enhancing connectivity and resilience. Connectivity is a crucial area for fostering regional integration and also advancing sustainable and inclusive development. It is imperative for a seamlessly connected ASEAN to enhance our collective competitiveness on a broader regional stage. We welcome the UK's continued commitment to support ASEAN's effort in this endeavor through a proposal for an ASEAN-UK statement on connectivity as an outcome document of the ASEAN TMC Plus session with the UK. We look forward to commencing negotiations of the document in Jakarta within the CPR as well as within CPR and UK ambassador to ASEAN in Jakarta. Hopefully it could be finalized before the meeting in July in Vientiane. We also appreciate the UK continuous support for Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity 2025 initiatives and projects, especially in areas such as digital innovation and seamless logistics, including the convening of the ASEAN Sustainable Leadership in Infrastructure Program, or ASLIP, Year 2 course. The UK's engagement in the ASEAN Connectivity Coordinating Committee, or ACCC, consultation and symposium, along with contributions to the ACCCF Fund, are notable steps toward achieving our connectivity objectives. We look forward to realizing the statement on connectivity after its adoption in July this year. On smart cities, the ASEAN Smart City Network, or ASCN, symbolizes innovation and progress, offering a platform for collaboration on smart urban development. We encourage the UK to consider supporting the ASCN and the ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Strategy, particularly through city partnerships that enhance knowledge exchange and capacity building. This collaboration can significantly contribute to the development of resilient, innovative, and connected urban areas across ASEAN and among ASEAN member states. As the ASCN chair this year, the Lao PDR will host the meeting and also will host a two-day roundtable meeting alongside the 7th ASCN annual meeting from 30th of July to 2nd of August 2024 in Luang Prabang, with a focus on national and local smart city strategies and the One City, One Master Plan initiative. We hope that ASEAN member states and the UK could also support this initiative. On initiative for ASEAN integration or IAI and narrowing the development gap, which aims to bridge development gap in ASEAN, having chaired several task force meetings in 2023 to review and recommend actions for the IAI Plan 4, we are grateful for the UK's continued support in these endeavors, notably in education through the SAGE program, which aimed at enhancing educational outcomes in the CNMB countries. Furthermore, the UK's project to identify sustainability opportunities in Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam is an important effort to promote economic development while addressing climate change. We encourage the UK to continue supporting remaining actions under the IAI Plan 4. Therefore, this will also contribute to poverty alleviation and sustainable development across the region. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now invite our representative from Myanmar. You have the floor.
Dear Co-Chairs, Excellencies, at the outset, I would like to express my appreciation to Brunei Darussalam, my country coordinator, for your stewardship in promoting dialogue relations with the UK. I also like to express my congratulations to His Excellency Mr. Owen Jenkins for your role of some leader, and my sincere appreciation to the Government of the United Kingdom for hosting the third ASEAN-UK officials meeting and the excellent arrangements according to us. I wish to convey the warm regards from His Excellency Dr. Kennedy Rai, Dr. the Storm Leader of Myanmar, and I sincere regret for an inability to come here due to her inevitable commitment. As my last colleague has already highlighted the points of cross-pillar cooperation and the ASEAN-UK relation, I would like to add some points where we can intensify cooperation under the cross-pillar cooperation, focusing on the cooperation areas of connectivity, smart cities, IAI, and narrowing the development gap. On connectivity, we extend our appreciation for the UK's proposal to release the ASEAN-UK Statement of the Connectivity in the PMC Plus UK in July 2024, with the aim to support ASEAN's effort on the implementation of the Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity, MPEG 225. We believe as well it will benefit towards economic integration, and development of sustainable technology and infrastructure. In this respect, we would like to express our gratitude for the ASEAN-UK Green Transitional Fund for implementing the ongoing partner projects. On smart cities, as our colleague Lau PDR mentioned earlier, the ASEAN Smart Cities Network, ASEAN is served as a collaborative platform which facilitates cooperation with smart cities development, catalyze valuable projects with the private sector and secure funding and support from ASEAN external partners. We are encouraged to note that as of August 2023, the number of smart city projects under ASEAN stood at 86, around 77.9% of the projects are ongoing, with 19.8% in planning stage and 3% completed. On this point, we would like to explore the possible cooperation with the UK and seek capital and financial assistance for the ASEAN Smart Cities Network from the UK. On IAI and narrow development gap, we appreciate the UK's support for narrow development gap between ASEAN member states, including through the IAI, and encourage the UK for more assistance under the IAI sector. In this respect, we highly value the UK's consideration for education program on, quote, supporting the advancement of girls' education in ASEAN, SAGI as UK's friendly project in broadening and deepening initiative for ASEAN integration, IEI work plan, unquote. We would as well appreciate if the project proposal on strengthening the capacity of CNMV officials from the Ministry of Education to use monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to improve students' learning outcomes in basic education will also consider to implement under the UK's funded project. As IEI work plan from 2021 to 2025 focuses on the 5 strategic areas, mainly 1, food and agriculture, 2, trade facilitation, 3, micro, small and medium enterprises, 4, education and free health and well-being. We wish to reaffirm our commitment to collaboratively engage in the shared areas of cooperation outlined within both the IEI work plan form. We believe that UK's cooperation with ASEAN and the IEI program would contribute to the implementation of the ASEAN-UK Joint Ministerial Declaration on Future Economic Cooperation. I sincerely believe that UK will continue its cooperation for the action lines that are still needed to be observed under the IEI work plan for implementation. I thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Before I give the floor to our co-chair, I again open the floor if under Malaysia, Dato' Amran, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair, and thank you, Deputy Minister Tumpang and Master one for your statements on this item. I just want to add one point about this connectivity, and of course, ASEAN has adopted under the Lao Chairmanship team that relates so much on the connectivity issue within ASEAN. First point is to express Malaysia's support for the proposed joint statement, ASEAN-UK joint statement on connectivity. And the other point is about the need, perhaps, for ASEAN-UK to look into the funding shortfall for the implementation of the master plan of ASEAN connectivity. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, I think there is less interest in terms of providing funding for projects under the master plan. Perhaps this is where the UK can also get the private sector from the UK to be more interested and involved in supporting this ASEAN project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato'. If there's no other assembly, I invite our co-chair to respond to this agenda item.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair. Thank you to all of the speakers for their valuable contributions on what I think is a really important set of issues. Sustainable development and climate change, as well as the green transition, have come up under a number of previous agenda items. I think that is testament to the cross-cutting nature of that set of questions, which I haven't addressed until now. But allow me to say now that I do think that the UK is very well placed to partner with ASEAN in the area of green transition and climate change. We were the first major economy to set in law a net zero commitment, and we're the first major economy to have halved our emissions on the 1990 baseline. Which we did late last year, early this year. So we continue to be very committed to that agenda, and I think the investment we've made in that area means that we do have some knowledge, perhaps some technologies and skills which might be of interest, I think, to the collaboration with ASEAN. And among those we have the world's largest offshore wind farms, and of course we're active in the international space, having chaired the 2021 COP26 up in Glasgow. The dialogue between the UK and ASEAN is well developed in this space, but I think there is still more that we can do. We were very proud to host the ASEAN Secretariat and Malaysian colleagues at our COP28 pavilion in Dubai to discuss some of the challenges on transition, and that set of meetings provided us with a good set of ideas for going forward. And I think they also provided us with the sense that there are real opportunities here. This is not just an agenda of threat, but a way in which we can turbocharge our economies on the back of the new technologies to accelerate the green transition. ASEAN is, of course, particularly well placed to take advantage of that with its extraordinary natural resources, its human capital, and its expertise in some of the technological areas which will be needed. And in that context, as was mentioned by my colleague from Thailand, mobilising international finance, I think, is absolutely key to this, both through public and through private channels, as well as developing supportive regulatory and policy frameworks. And that's why in September 2022, British International Investment, UK's development capital arm, established a regional office in Singapore, providing up to £500 million of climate finance to help the region achieve its climate goals. In addition to that, of course, there are the Just Energy Transition Partnerships with Vietnam and Indonesia, which are major efforts to support those countries' plans to decarbonise their economies. But at the same time as working on those mitigation efforts, as was said by a couple of speakers, addressing the effects of climate change are also important, which is why we have developed the programmes which have been mentioned, particularly in collaboration between the UK Meteorological Office and the ASEAN Coordinating Centre for Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Management, to strengthen disaster preparedness and bolster capacity for climate adaptation. The UK Meteorological Office is also working with Vietnam's Meteorological and Hydrological Administration and other partners in the Mekong sub-region to improve regional forecasting systems and access to climate information as an important set of knowledge to address climate disasters. We've already provided over £100 million to the ASEAN Catalytic Green Financing Facility through the Asian Development Bank to invest in green infrastructure and connectivity programmes, and look forward to continuing the conversation about how we can address those infrastructural questions which we've touched on in the economic pillar to this set of challenges. And to that end, we will soon launch the ASEAN Green Transition Fund, the latest of our 5 flagship regional development programmes, which we hope we will be able to accredit with ASEAN in the near future. Touching on some of the other issues which have been raised, I'm very conscious that there's a huge amount in this agenda. If I may turn next to one of the issues which is very important to us, which is the Narrowing the Gap initiative and the initiative for ASEAN integration. And as I mentioned earlier, our development white paper put great emphasis on the need to develop partnerships as the way to achieve sustainable development. Those long-term partnerships have to be based on mutual respect, and we are committed to building them on that basis, to mobilising long-term finance, to harnessing science and innovation, and using many other tools which were mentioned in the 3 interventions around this item to tackle poverty, build sustainable development, pursue the SDGs, tackle climate change, and enhance prosperity. And those goals, I think, are intimately linked in ways that cannot be disentangled. So we're trying to do just that, to tackle them together by developing initiatives to cooperate on all of those issues: poverty reduction, sustainable infrastructure and connectivity, and so on. And as we look ahead, our flagship programmes will explore how they can better support the initiative for ASEAN integration to help narrow the development gap, and I look forward to reporting more about this next year. Let me turn to smart cities now, which I think is is a very important set of issues in the area of cross-pillar work, because sustainable urbanisation, I think, relies on many of the things that I talked about. It relies on good education, it relies on investment in green infrastructure, it relies on establishing healthy communities through people-to-people links. So we would be very interested in exploring further what more we can do in support of the ASEAN Sustainable Cities Network Initiative and the ASEAN Sustainable Urbanisation Strategy, both of which were mentioned, through ensuring that there is no focus to some of the work that we are already doing through other pillars, because I think this is a cross-cutting issue where a lot of the work we're doing elsewhere will be relevant. And that's true as I turn to the question of connectivity, which has run through all of the interventions that we've heard in this area, quite rightly, I think, as the connection between so many of the different pillars. As I said earlier, we very much welcome the last chair's focus on this. We're very pleased to be supporting the ASEAN Sustainable Leadership in Infrastructure Programme in this context, which I think is also relevant to smart cities, actually, because it will equip industry leaders and policymakers with the tools and models that they need to plan, procure, and develop sustainable and reliable infrastructure across the board. Our colleagues from the British Department of Transport will be meeting their ASEAN colleagues in Brunei this May to explore the opportunities of negotiating a new multilateral UK-ASEAN air services agreement, which I think is another important element of connectivity between our two societies. And let me welcome the strong support which I heard from various colleagues for our suggestion of a statement on connectivity at PMC in July. And we will certainly commit to taking that forward with colleagues from the CPR, with our ambassador to ASEAN in Jakarta. So we look forward to that discussion and to finalising that statement in good time for our ministers to sign off in advance of the meeting. Let me mention, if I may, Co-Chair, one issue which wasn't raised, which is one of the threats to the connectivity and to the connected world that we want to see, and this is cyber as a key issue, which I think cuts across the whole range of pillars. The technologies and the threats that we're seeing in the cyber sphere are quite worrying, and I think that the developments in technology, and I mentioned AI earlier, will only continue to drive the challenges in that area. So we are keen to continue to do what we're doing, which is supporting ASEAN's regional capabilities, including through delivering workshops and training at the ASEAN Cyber Centres in Bangkok and in Singapore. And most recently, we launched the UK Southeast Asia Women in Cyber Fellowship, and we've proposed support to the ASEAN Computer Emergency Response Team, the CERT. But I think we'd also be open to further suggestions in this area, because it does feel to us that just as we work on the cross-pillar opportunities together, so it would be good to respond to the cross-pillar threats in a way that protects our societies and our economies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Co-Chair. Certainly, there's a lot of potential for collaboration and cooperation under this cross-pillar cooperation. And on the statement on connectivity, yes, we have tasked our CPR to work on negotiating this with the ambassador of UK to ASEAN. Now we are moving to agenda item 5, future direction of ASEAN and UK dialogue relation. May I invite Ambassador Bin to lead on this agenda? And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Co-Chair. First of all, I'd like to join my colleagues in extending our appreciation to DG Owen Jenkins and his team for the warm hospitality celebrations for our meeting today. I think we brought sunshine, from ourselves, London today, and it's good on. And I'm sure that the bright future for us in the UK in many years ahead. I do share all those positive comments on the assessment on positive development of the ASEAN-UK partnership over the past few years. And I also share our appreciation to the UK for the strong commitment to the region and ASEAN in particular through various policy strategies and in particular the Indo-Pacific strategy to work with ASEAN. And I'm sure that building upon the positive and the dynamic development of ASEAN-UK partnership over the past few years and the strong commitment of the UK, we will see ASEAN-UK partnership grow further and bring tangible benefit to our respective countries. And I would like to express our appreciation and thanks to Brunei for stewarding ASEAN-UK partnership over the past 3 years, and I think it's a big shoes for Vietnam to fill in the years ahead. But I'm sure that Brunei will be able to share with us a lot as we take over the co-leadership after July. Well, I've listened carefully to all the comments and assessment by respective member states in the UK. We take note of all those comments and suggestions. Yet I would like to just share some of the main thrusts, what we try to do over the next few years. Perhaps it's number one is to continue to maintain close political dialogue and presentation and coordination between ASEAN and the UK. And we continue to support the UK's engagement with our region and ASEAN in particular through ASEAN-led convening. And we would work with the UK to continue to align the priorities of ASEAN and the UK's priorities through various implementation of the plan of action, or in particular the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific, because the AOIP now is one important platform for us to mainstream all the areas into ASEAN activities. Number two is to continue to give resources to the implementation of all the activities under the implementation of the plan of action. And we very much appreciate the UK's support and funding for various activities over the past few years. Number three is certainly we would work with all member states and the UK to see how we can further strengthen the mechanisms under the ASEAN and UK partnership, so that we can facilitate the processes to appraisal, approval, and accreditation of ASEAN-UK project and programs, so that all those joint programs and projects will go into implementation as soon as possible to bring tangible benefits to all our countries. And certainly we would have just these are the things I'm trying to lay out outlines of the broad focus, as well as some of the maybe detailed activities for the time being. So what we plan to do is certainly, number one is to take economic cooperation, trade and investment, and business partnership as the prime driving force for the partnership in the years to come. These, I'm sure, will be benefiting all our countries. These cover a whole range. Of course, I've taken note of suggestion to continue to work on connectivity. I think it's not just connectivity in terms of infrastructure connectivity, but also connectivity in terms of policy. And it's something that would be very beneficial at the end of the day when we talk about how we bring our regions closer together and to make sure that the infrastructure for all this logistics connectivity, all those supply chains connectivity will be maintained, will not be impacted by future events. The next one is a soft connectivity. We're talking about how we would be able to work together and learn from the UK on how we're improving the efficiency of all the business environment. These will benefit not just our respective countries, but also the people and our businesses. Connectivity in terms of maritime connectivity is also important, and air connectivity, I will concur with Mr. Co-Chair on the importance of how we of the air connectivity to help trade, investment, and tourism. And in this regard, we support the proposal to work on the joint statement by the Foreign Minister on connectivity in July. I have a long list, I'm sorry. The next thing is perhaps we're talking about digital innovation, and that's also very important. And actually, I plan to raise the issue of digital cybersecurity. We have the digital innovation partnership. This is very important. Digital economy is a growing economy in our region, and that's also in the UK. And we certainly work together to develop capacity and entrepreneurship of our businesses. And cybersecurity is the one, actually, is the infrastructure that supports the whole development and operation of these areas. A creative economy, yes, certainly. I think it's one of the areas where we like to focus on in the next few years as we support not only the development of our businesses, but also as a way to promote tourism and cultural preservation as well. Needless to say that a long list of green finance, energy transition, these are the things that actually we will certainly give our attention to and work with the UK. IAI is very important. I very much appreciate the commitment by the UK for the implementation of the IAI work plan. As part of the IAI task force, Vietnam will be able to share and work with the UK so that we can launch certain programs as outlined by Mr. Co-Chair earlier. The number two area, major broad areas, is political and security cooperation to strengthen peace, security, and stability in ASEAN and region and the world at large. We continue to maintain the political dialogue and cooperation, building trust, and we would very much appreciate the UK's commitment and support for ASEAN in the promotion of a rules-based regional architecture in the region. And in terms of maritime, I've taken note of all these comments by colleagues from Malaysia and the Philippines. We look forward to continued support of the UK. We acknowledge some of the activities, that actually have been taken place over the past few years, and we look forward to continue support in terms of capacity.